Hello, everybody. Recently, this Chinese doctor, as I mentioned also in my previous episode, this lady doctor, Dr. Yan Limeng, the one who worked in Hong Kong University in the research center there about virus, right? She was the one who, so to say, flee to America and have exposed a lot of internal secret, because she did a lot of investigation in Wuhan, and so now she's disclosing more and more. And recently, what she disclosed again in an interview by Steve Bannon, she was convinced that the virus came from military laboratory in Wuhan, a laboratory for, of course, a biochemical weapon. But she never said that they have made it there, made the virus there artificially. No, it just say it comes from the laboratory. One new thing, this is maybe not new, because many people suspected that already, but I understand that she has already some evidence, which she has probably provided to the American government, and of course the American government would not just show it right now, but when the time comes, they will do it. So actually, my understanding is the American government has been collecting a lot of evidence. So one day, when the American government thinks now it's time to put a new card on the table, it will come more and more. I think in the hand of Americans they have many cards, and now they have only played out a very small portion of it, and much stronger cards will come in the near future. And she, Dr. Yan, she also disclosed that not only the Chinese Communist Party regime cover up in the beginning, not to let the people know that there was an epidemic, not to let the world know that this epidemic is very dangerous, can transmit from human to human. Because of international agreement, when a country discovers a new virus, this country should provide the World Health Organization and also other countries. For example, China should provide American Health Authority information about this new virus. And one of the key information is the so-called virus sequence. I understand, I'm not an expert in virus, but I understand that it's a kind of DNA description or structure description of the DNA structure, because no two viruses have the same sequence or the same DNA code. So, and what she exposed was the Chinese authority purposely gave Western country or other foreign country health authority a wrong sequence, a wrong information, purposely to confuse them, so that people will have much more difficulty to find out the origin of this virus, and also to find out a vaccine and the way how to combat this new virus. This is really evil. I have no reason to doubt that Dr. Yan lies here. I have difficulty to believe it. And I will come back to why she does it, and later in this episode. Dr. Yan's exposure has to do with the coronavirus, which is still a hot topic, because it looked like that in many countries, like in Latin America, it's very serious. Many people get infected, and in America, it looked like the second wave is coming. In China, actually, I mentioned it before, but the Chinese authority cover up everything. Officially, nothing happened. Nobody's allowed to say anything, otherwise you are making a crime of disclosing state secret. So other things which is happening a lot is, of course, Hong Kong. The latest you may have heard about is first the Chinese, the Hong Kong candidate from the Democratic parties, they make a kind of test election, test poll. It turned out record high number of people. I don't remember how many, but anyway, much higher than expected. So by turning out many more people means that the Democratic Party in Hong Kong will probably win the parliamentary election in September. So what happened? That shocked again CCP. So what they did is they postponed the election. They give, of course, the order to Hong Kong government, Carrie Lam, who announced then a couple of days ago that the whole election will be postponed for a whole year. I mean, it's a joke. This is, how CCP understand what a government can do with democratic system. You just change it whenever you need to change it, okay? So, and that, they thought is a smart way to avoid the total disaster, because they think if that election takes place in September, they will lose heavily. So they thought it's a smart way, but this is not smart at all. And I will come back to you why it's not smart at all. Yeah. Now the third thing is, in my opinion, has a strong impact in the world is, of course, what is going on in the South China Sea, which I mentioned before. Yeah, both sides are actually adding military power to the area. So anyone who make a mistake or whoever start to shoot, it can be quite big things happen there. Yeah. So now let me come back. Why? If I look back to the past year or the past 2 years, actually since America and China started the so-called trade war, and then you could see it's like someone watching a card play. Yeah, one side put a card on the table, the other put the other. But you can see that the Americans seems to have many more good cards in their hand. Yeah, they have been playing very calm, very peacefully, one card after another, and I have the feeling that in the hand of CCP there are not so many great cards anymore. They may still have some cards, but it's quite poor. I tell you what, the reason is the CCP, the Chinese communists, they again and again make wrong estimation, wrong assessment about what will America or what would the Western world, the free world, how would they react? Yeah, and the thing is, their way of thinking and their mentality is so different from people in the free world. People in the free world, they don't just talk about freedom and human rights and rule of law and democracy. They really want to have it, and they try to defend it also. And of course, not everybody, but the power, the forces in the free world who want to protect, to defend such value is much, much stronger than in the communist world. Yeah? In countries like China, North Korea, Iran. Iran is not communist, but totalitarian world. They have totally different way of thinking. What the CCP central thinking is, they think that, money can solve a lot of problems. Yeah? Money can drive the world. That's what they believe. Yeah? To a great extent, of course, not 100%, but anyway, great. And in a way, you can think one reason is because this is how they believe. They don't, those human beings who became leaders in the Communist Party, they are quite abnormal people, to be honest. They have a perception which is probably quite different from you and me. They think that one can make, with the help of money and also power, pressure, one can get any person to do anything. This is what they believe. And that's why they do it. And also, we cannot just blame them, because in the past, they got the experience that it works. I mean, look in the time of Obama, President Obama, or earlier, President Bush, President Bill Clinton, the Chinese communists draw the conclusion, no problem. We just pay more, then they get soft. They get a soft legs. Then they make kowtow. They go down to the knee. Yeah. So that, and the experience has been confirming this way of thinking. I mean, look at in the Obama time, the vice president of America, that was Joe Biden. Yeah, and China helped the son of, or not China, the CCP actually, helped the son of Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, to make billion and billion of business with China, got billion of credit from Bank of China, yeah, and so have you ever seen any action from Joe Biden when he was the vice president? Did he criticize China any time? Did he do anything stopping China to do any evil deed? No, never. Yeah, and even Bill Clinton, you know, I'm sure that the Chinese communists did something to make sure that Clinton helped China to become a member of the World Trade Organization. So for them, it works. So why should we change? You know, you don't change a winning team. But the thing is, that's why they make totally wrong assessment when Donald Trump came. Since Donald Trump took over, Donald Trump as a president doesn't think like that. And also, American people today do not think like American people 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. And all has changed. Yeah. So, and that's why the CCP seems to be quite clumsy in their so to say battle against American. Yeah. They thought, for example, America will not do so much for the lead to Hong Kong. Yeah. By the national security law imposed in Hong Kong, we can reinstall the peace and calm in Hong Kong, so that American also can do better business in Hong Kong. So they will, you know, the American, they will just talk about human rights and, you know, just some show, but in reality they will not do anything really harming us. But they were wrong, because America was not just talking. They really do mix sanction, and not only America. Actually, even German government has been, so to say, quite mild in its critique against Chinese communist regime. But in the thing of Hong Kong, yeah, it's not only because of interest. It's actually even German government and German people understand, because many Germans have been in Hong Kong and also into mainland China, and they see it different. Any German, every German I talk to, they immediately feel the difference when they come from mainland China to Hong Kong. Yeah, much more freedom, much more respect for human dignity, much more rule of law, particularly rule of law. Yeah, so they all think Hong Kong is great, and now you suddenly do something like that, then they will think, hey, come on. China is a world power. If they have so little respect for human rights, for rule of law, to freedom, and they are in the same time getting more and more influential in the world, then one day we will suffer too. You see, for the Chinese communist leaders, it's so difficult for them to think that there are people in this world who do things not just for money or power, but for the sake of their ideal, for the sake of their value, yeah, the value. Look at this Dr. Yan I mentioned in the beginning. She took the risk of being killed by Chinese communist agents and went to America and exposed all this. She get no money for it. She was spending money to buy the ticket to fly there and taking the risk. But why she did it? Because she is still a person with ideal. She valued not just money and material stuff as the only thing that has a value. No. I believe she thinks to be honest, to save human beings' life by telling the world the truth, and not to let these evil people to cheat the whole world. That is also something great. That's why she took that risk and do that thing. And many American people today, they don't care. By fighting CCP, we may lose some business opportunity. That's not important. Because what CCP has done, spreading the virus, killing so many people in America. I think the latest figure is probably something like closing to 200,000 people died of that virus, spread by CCP. So you see, even American people understand it's not only money that counts, and that is a trap for the CCP. They make again and again wrong assessment. So what the American reaction to CCP will be surprise after surprise for CCP. And I am convinced that American government and the whole Western world will come in closer and closer together to form an alliance to get rid of CCP in all areas, from political area, cultural area, and military area, and economy area, of course. And we can see the show is still going on. The show is a very serious show. If you like my episode, don't forget, click like and subscribe. And also, please, if you would like to support us, click on the link for Patreon. Okay? So, thank you. That's so much for this time. Bye-bye.